Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay, how's it going?
I am good, my friend.
I want to welcome everyone to the Work-Related Podcast.
We are related by work. You're going to check that board there. You make sure this episode 77 is getting out.
Episode 77, everything is working.
Yeah.
I didn't check levels before
Oh,
this,
shit.
but we'll figure it out.
We'll get all excited and pop those levels. Good thing we don't wear earphones.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Maybe we should, then we'd probably hear how fucking stupid we sound.
No, then we'll stop talking.
The only time that happens is if I'm too high on edibles. And Selena was like, how come you were so quiet that episode?
Yeah.
I was too high.
Oh, man.
It's a long weekend, buddy. I'm feeling good.
It is a long weekend, yeah.
Well, actually, no. Everybody's taking my holiday because I normally have Fridays off.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you had a long weekend. You didn't work last night.
I did not work last night.
I saw, and I know you didn't want to talk about work shit, and I didn't know I was going to talk about this. I saw your buddy Booby come in at like one. He's been doing some overtime.
Yep.
So he starts at like 1 or something.
He just moved.
Oh, what? So is he renting or buying?
He's renting.
Did you talk about it buying?
No. He first was talking about buying, but then he's like, it's so expensive. And like his wife is coming in like the next month or so. And he doesn't have a place. He lives in a place with roommates, which is another reason why renting is not a waste. Because now you have a place for your wife.
I didn't want to sound like I think that renting is a waste. I don't know. Like we should obviously revisit every podcast that we do, so I can fucking like correct myself.
We'd have another 77 episodes.
That's what we'll do for the second 100. Okay. The corrections. Just to add on.
Yeah,
it's podcaster bait. I heard that listening to your own podcast, it's called podcaster baiting.
Podcaster baiting?
Yeah, like
so like masturbating.
Yeah, because you're just listening to yourself.
Okay,
and so yeah, like that whole rent thing. I don't want to be hold down on it. Like,
yeah,
you're right. It's something like a and this obviously already sidebarred, but like I think that Booby would rather own something. Like it's the stability factor
for sure,
right? Like I think you like to be not tied down to anything.
Oh yeah, commitment problems. Took me 10 years to get married.
And also the suspect of the system. Like, why are you telling me to buy a house?
Yeah.
Right? Like you know what I mean? And then, checking on that system.
But even though I think all of that is good, I really, my only point was, I don't want to make it sound like I say buying a house is stupid. Obviously not. But I want to remove that point of renting is a waste. That's basically all I was just trying to say.
And I think what I was trying to say is I should have agreed with you more instead of pushing back because I think I grew up with that established.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was a fool's errand to rent. But you bring it in a way, I'm sorry, Booby, just like in this Booby way, like he's starting off from somewhere, roommates, like you should do that. Everybody should do that. I think that's part of being independent. You asked me like, when did you move out of your house? Yeah. And I was like, well, I left my cushy dad's house because I didn't want to live there anymore. Yeah, and I was couch surfing. Yeah, and I would give money when I could.
Yeah, you're navigating.
What's that? Navigating. Yeah, navigating life, right?
Exactly.
And you don't want you were like in a way like your kids get a job at 18, and you want to make them leave the house and make them rent or do something instead of making them give you rent because you want them to have. Like, I guess it's not such a safety net behind them. Yeah. Or that, like, just knowing, like, whatever. Like, mommy and daddy are going to take care of you.
I'll be your parachute, but, like, I'll catch you after you've already jumped the plane. Not before.
You need to show me that you... Yeah, I see that. I see that you... When we talk about it in another friend of yours, this like, it takes away their need to be successful.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like, was one friend that you have has got so much potential.
Yeah.
And I think that brings a lot of anger. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine if it's actually your kid, right? Because a friend or somebody you can just like wasted potential, whatever. But you would throttle that potential out of your kid.
Oh man,
right? Like if you just, you know what I mean? Like whatever, right? Or that would be so much harder to do. And so if you burned your little kids things like you gotta buy, you can live here until you save enough money to buy. They'd be here forever, right? Like you need them to see maybe renting is good. Till they find out who they are, and then make them realize, like, oh, my money maybe not be like, you know what I mean, like, I guess,
you gotta find out who you are, where you want to be, like, you know what I mean. There's so many aspects to it.
It's almost like not marrying your first girlfriend.
Yes,
right. Like you got to rent a few girlfriends.
No,
No. That could put him on a bad site. That's not that. We're not going to encourage that. That's a whole different fucking world.
Oh my
Rent
God.
a few girlfriends, but we don't. So I get it, right? I see that, and so yeah, like Booby, he can't go from the roommate to the house.
No.
Right? Like you need to see that and maybe where you live and all that.
He is so happy though.
He looks good,
I
man.
asked him, I said, so what are you gonna do tonight? He's like, I'm gonna go home and I'm just gonna lay on the couch. I'm like, nobody's gonna wake you up? He's like, nope. Because he used to have problems with his roommates waking him up, telling him to move his car, playing loud music, and all these kind of things, sleeping in his bed. Did you hear this story?
No.
Oh man, I have to tell this story then.
What?
So couple weeks ago, Booby, it was a Thursday. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. It was a Thursday. He was going home, but no, it was like around 1 o'clock. Our shift ends at 2:30. So he was like, my roommate just messaged me and said he's sleeping in my bed. And I said, why the fuck's he sleeping in your bed? And Booby goes, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So he's messaging. And then like a half hour later, he's like, he said my other roommate brought a girl home, so he doesn't want to sleep in that room. I guess they must have been in the same room, sharing the same room or something like that. I don't know.
Whoa.
And he's like, so he doesn't want to sleep, so he slept in my bed. I'm like, well, that sucks. I'm like, tell him, go home and tell him to get the fuck out. He's like, nah, man, he's my roommate, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, Booby called me. It was Friday. He called me. He's like, oh, Brian, man. He was supposed to come for overtime. He's like, I'm not coming in for overtime. I'm like, oh, are you serious? He's like, yeah, my roommate, man, kept me up all night. I'm like, Booby, what the fuck were you guys doing all night? He's like, no, I didn't realize this guy, he like talks in his sleep. I'm like, he talks in his sleep? He's like, he talks, he screams. He was just screaming. He scared me so bad. One time I was sleeping, it was like, what did he say? It was like 6 o'clock. And I felt something, and he was playing with his hair in his sleep. And he said he got up at about 7:30. He told the guy, "That's it, you have to get out because I need some sleep."
What?
Yeah. So Booby was up from the end of our shift till 7:30, trying to sleep in the bed, but his roommate
Playing with his hair.
playing with his hair, screaming in his dreams, talking.
He doesn't have just a roommate. He has a roommate.
Yeah,
He has a
literal
fucking, like,
roommate.
oh my God, Booby.
I just said to him, don't worry. So it was 5
Oh
days,
my God.
5 days before April 1st. I said, don't worry, Booby, 5 more days and then you'll be good. He's like, I can't wait, man.
Oh, so he's like 10 days, 9 days in to living on his own.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I love that feel. Like, I get it for him.
He's he's happy.
So I went back to my mom to like rent a room in her apartment. I probably told this on an earlier podcast and I was just like fucking around like at people's couches. This is what like jumped me to my own. And it wasn't, I didn't have a goal. I was like lost. I was still kind of lost. I still liked who I was and doing what I was doing, but I was aimless, right? Like I wasn't saving any money. I was just partying. And when I moved my mom into this apartment, like above a house in a real nice neighborhood, I just saw this like spare room like off to the side of the whole apartment, and I just like I would love to take this over, not to be with my mom. I use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
And like she left a bad relationship with a stepdad. It's all longer and go way back when to listen. And the idea that I just didn't want to be in her way. When I said to her at that time, it's like, yeah, can I rent that? Can I like stay with you? I don't want to stay with these people that like this figure I'm taking up space in other people's houses without a full commitment. This is where like it's nice to have the house and have that commitment, but like kind of what Booby was in a way, right? But not even that locked down. And so she said yes. And over the few months that I was there, I wanted to leave. Like that's when she met my stepdad now, and everything was coming together for her. And I felt like I was. It wasn't so much embarrassed to be at my mom's. It was a nice place to be there, but it's like I do want something of my own, and that's where I got and paid a lot of money to have my rent, and I loved it. It's where I met Tammy. It's where I got to be who I was.
Yeah, so
you need that.
Yeah,
it had
for
nothing to do with the dream of owning a thing. I was more insecure of being who I was, or whatever. I wasn't even looking for it. But coming home and just lying on the couch with no interference.
Yeah.
Right, like you can't even dream you have all the interference in the world, and you're not even drinking to get away from it. But the like just that I don't mind spending time with myself now. Right?
Yeah,
I'll go in the basement, all that shit. So it might be because I enjoyed doing it then, and it had nothing to do with buying it. Yeah, like I get it. Like you should put that dream of find somewhere to rent. So you can find out who you are. Like you said it earlier.
I always have this thought that these two boys are gonna go rent a house and go rent a house together, and then they're going to figure out they don't want to live together, and then they're going to go buy their own houses.
That's
probably down the street or something, but at least they'll figure out that part. There's a house over here. I'm pretty sure it's two brothers who live together. One has a Tesla, one has a Audi, like a RS7 or some shit. Two nice cars, right? And like I remember I thought it was the same guy, but then I saw them come out together and they both left in their two different cars. I was like, oh shit, they look the same. They must be brothers. So my assumption is it's two brothers who bought that house over there.
Well, it'd be nice. I could see that. I mean, I'm surprised that you never like live with like Brenton or some cousins, like because you almost have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a big family that you could have been close with.
No, it never happened.
How did you leave your house first?
I went to first time I was working at the Brick, and I was dating Esmera's mom at the time, and then that's when I moved out the first
with
time.
her.
Yeah,
like you were both living in your like respective parents' places at the time.
Yeah,
and you decided
and
you wanted
just rented in Brampton an apartment building. Yeah,
and so you went just straight from the house to that responsibility. Like yeah. See, I don't. That's I guess how you normally would do it.
Yeah,
right?
Like in an ideal situation, right?
Right. Well, that you weren't expecting you were going to break up.
No.
Right. Like like I don't know how much of a surprise. See, that would be the thing. Like renting, like you said, you can let go. Like having a kid early.
Oh God.
Right. Like ties you down to all these problems later.
Problems, issues.
Right. Like it's just like it's fucking wouldn't want to wish that on anything. Like that's what you need to instill in the kids.
Yeah.
Like that's almost a good thing to make them leave and start renting because they won't have time to have the kid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. You got to make sure like accidents happen or whatever. That's why you just rent the girlfriends, I guess. But
rent the girlfriends.
So so that would be the most like the tying down would stop you from getting the house that you want.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop the friend that we're talking about earlier, like from him not realizing his potential, right?
Yeah.
Or needing the like necessity is the mother of invention. So if you need to, you know what I mean, like find out what makes you the most money, you're going to need it when you need the most money. Yep. Not like just whatever, I can come home to mom or do all that.
Don't have to pay anything.
Like I had that luxury and did it. And so I felt that desire to get out and do it. And then once I met Tammy and she was basically like living with me in my apartment, it wasn't so much like I was asking her for money. Like I was still paying like the full rent and having like a 3/4 of a living girlfriend, and it was just like, well, this is stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are we going to have a future here? You know what I mean? This is when we started to think of whatever that future was. And in that sense, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to rent another place. Like I could have, right? It was just like, I don't want to rent another place with you, but I'd rather go on vacations with you. I want to my money would be better off than the $1,100 I'm paying rent at this time. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I went back to a roommate situation. I moved to a house in Brampton with Sammy, and a couple other friends, and I just had a room there. And so that's so much worse than living on your own, right? Like I was bringing my girlfriend over to the house and she would stay in my room. Yeah. And then that's a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to like three other roommates. Sam was in the like not at the time. It was two other dudes that were renting rooms up there, and it was in Brampton. It was a shitty fucking neighborhood. And but like the goal was, well, I'm going to do more with my money. But my living situations, you know, I had to put up with more than I wanted to. They had to put up with me as well. Yeah. But it wasn't as ideal. Yeah. It wasn't as, and like, I don't know if that's, I think living in the house and just being a homebody like we are, not that I was going to talk about this the whole time. It's like, I like that it's my castle. Like renting is just like, I'm just staying for a bit. Like leaving at 16 and doing all these other things. Like even you, 19, having a kid, rent is just like, it's not as stable if I'm just going to rent from place to place.
For sure, of course.
If you were still with her and with Mary, you would have wanted to build that life. You know what I mean? Like from a rock.
Of course, I wasn't knocking buying at all. I wasn't.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't knocking. It was just that one point because it does deter people and does change people's minds about that first step of doing anything.
So you're right, and I think the point of that was just like we've been oversold it.
Yeah,
that was
for sure.
Where, like, you know, I mean, the lost point is, and that's
nobody
true.
talks about how many people lose their houses because they bought a house when they weren't ready, or just because they've been told that's what you're supposed to do. Next thing you know, foreclosure, and now you have nothing, and all that money you had is gone because you forced yourself in a situation you weren't prepared for.
And you could, in that same time, you could have been renting for those 2 years and found out a bit more about yourself. Yeah, got your online business going.
Got the muscles, step up in your career, whatever you were doing.
I see that more now, and so. Just revising one podcast of many to go back. That was my point. But my original point was that I saw your buddy Booby coming in for overtime.
Yes. So sorry.
Fucking came in, got our first point.
He came in for overtime after what we did that night before.
What?
We finished 3 bodies and put up 2 more.
of his little USBs?
We put up 2 USBs. We finished 1 USB, and then we finished the 2 Cobalts.
Was that what you were working on, the Cobalt ones?
I was working on the Cobalt, the one that I cut from Alvin.
What a terrible idea that was. I know.
And then when I came in, Alvin had only he finished the other side pack and tacked it up. And so, and I was talking to Nicole. She's like, I'd really like for both these Cobalts to be done. I'm like, shit.
That's hilarious.
And
my answer would be, well, good luck.
The thing is, I had told her already before that if you need something done for the end of the shift, then we'll do it. We'll first and do it. And she's like, yeah, okay. So we've done it one time before months ago. And then she asked again. I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't want to say that, yeah, we can get it done. But so I went and I talked to Gordon and I was like, so how much is left on this? And he was saying what's left. And I said, Nicole wants this one to be done too. And he's like, that's easy. We'll be done that. I was like, okay, all right. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, for sure. Just let me finish this and then we'll go work on that, whatever. And so I was talking, Booby always asks, what's the plan for today? What's the plan for today? So I go, the plan is I want to do this and finish this. He's like, you want help? I can come help you. I'll come over there and help you and we can work on this one. Then you just have to help me tack up the 2 bodies, whatever. I said, fine. And we did it. So that's what we did. And we got rid of we did the 3 bodies, the USB, the 2 Cobalts, finished it. And then we tacked up 2 more bodies and Dave came over. He's like, I heard you guys, why don't you guys work like this every day? I said, no.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's
you get one every quarter.
Yeah, now you're disappointing them. How did it go from helping, looking good to now disappointing me?
Right?
Fuck
so
that.
I'm surprised he came in after that because we stopped working at 1 o'clock. We were done by 1. And so he was just chilling out and whatever. I'm surprised he came in the next day because he looked tired.
He did look a little tired this time too, but I mean, so how close is his new place to work?
It's basically same distance from, maybe a little closer.
Still half hour?
In Brampton. Still in Brampton.
Not that close.
Still same.
Yeah, well, he's like, I've been in that mode before where every dollar helps.
Yeah, he said he spent so much money he needs to recoup.
Yeah, every dollar helps, and if you're not doing it, you know what I mean? It's good. I've been in that same place. I have worked tons of overtime. It makes. I can't think of it now. I've driven by the work. This is not anytime recently, but you go drive down Steeles. Nobody knows this, but drive that, and you can see across the courthouse things like the back of our work, and I can see if anybody's there. Yeah. You can see if the parking lot's got anybody in there. You look through the trees and shit. And so I've been there. Been I remember when I was always on Saturdays, and I felt a certain way. Hey, how come nobody asked me to come in on a Saturday? Now I can't even think of coming in on a Saturday. I mean, I kind of can. But it's not like I can't use the money. I used to always hate the excuse of they're going to tax you more. It's not worth it to the overtime.
Man, I hate that excuse.
Yeah, I just want an extra $20.
That's the thing. Booby was saying the same thing. He's like, yeah, Tariq was telling me because it's a long weekend, Easter, they're going to knock down your overtime. I said, Booby, it doesn't freaking matter. You're making an extra X amount of dollars per hour. You don't have to do it. Just avoiding doing it just because you're not making an extra half of your hourly thing is ridiculous. Then you don't really need it.
It's looking for an excuse.
Yeah. I said, whenever I'm in the mood to do overtime, I do it regardless of whatever else is going on because it's still more money. He's like, oh, yes, you're right.
So, yeah, I can see that in Stills. I feel that same way.
Sense.
So I've hated. So I've seen that, but now, I'm now in a mode. It's just you can get whatever your groove sets. It's I would fucking hate to have to come in on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I just because I haven't done it for so long.
Yeah.
So way back when, you've been off since Wednesday. You know what I mean? I had no time. I did not have to stay late. I stay late to do my Friday thing. Yeah. This is where it's not even a real holiday for me. The only real holiday is I'll get extra money. That's not overtime because I did all my work. I was I worked all the way to 6 on Monday, and then I realized wait a sec. I don't have to do this.
No.
Because I saw the Tariqs not work their overtime and I was like, oh yeah, the fucking day. And I was like, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do it fucking.
It's gonna work out
I'll just
better
get the extra
for you.
money. And in my my situation with them, I don't want to upset them. I could be like, you know what I mean? I don't normally work Fridays, so I'm just going to do, by me working till 6 for the rest of the week, if it doesn't get noticed, it would have been noticed if I didn't do it and help them get the body out as fast as I can.
Yep. Because that's all they want.
But I can't make, when
Did you finish?
No, because I didn't have to finish. I have way more shit to do on that.
Oh, you're not close. Oh, you just started.
It's got over 110 hours on it.
You just started.
I got a lot done. But I got some funky shit to do at the end of that.
Yeah.
And it's had a lot of mistakes on it that are just because we don't have rocket scientists that are coming. And so I've been seeing shit on there just simple shit. This is not gonna translate well to nobody at our work. But the back shear plates that the body attaches to a chassis of a thing.
After you found them?
Yeah, after I got my boss Marcel to find them for me. Like, I'm not my job, boss. Go fucking sort out that mess and give me my shit. I'll be over here waiting.
Oh man.
Okay. And so I would do the same to you. And I was just like, fuck. Why do they want an extra 1/4 inch wide from like these plates that are attached to something? You know what I mean? That's at a measurement of 34.5. They want 34 3/4. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. But we got all these new bosses. I'm just picturing that fucking idiot walking around and go, hey, how come this is in that 20, whatever? And so I called Sammy over. I go, listen, I don't know what you're expecting. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I know exactly what to do. I said, but you're not getting this measurement. And he's like, I know. I've been trying to tell them. Sammy fucking steps up and says, like, I've even been telling him about the doors. Like, I got these doors to put on this crane tower thing.
Yeah.
And I got to put them in this retarded way with these holes that are, you know what I mean? Like, why can't we just put the 1/8 holes and screw them on? And so he's been saying to me, I've been trying to get that done for you guys. Like, not just me, but it would make sense for everybody. And so, well, thanks. Well, since you're here, like this plate thing. So we agreed. I go, I just want you to know. He goes, well, I'm going to call the Dave and Carl's over. And so if you don't want to be here, like, take a walk. I don't want to be here. I'm taking a walk. So he comes over and they're talking, and it's the same thing for fucking years.
Of course.
Medeiros is telling him why they can't put that measurement there. And so Medeiros is arguing with both of them. He's arguing with Sammy. He goes, because Sammy, you know it doesn't matter what the measurement is. Your chassis is like a 1/2 inch less.
Yeah.
Just don't put your shims on there and all this stuff. You're just trying to get ahead of it. And you want to know. And so it'll all work out.
Yeah.
It's not a catastrophe. But when you're building it and you're angry with what's on there and it's wrong, you feel it's a catastrophe. So he's saying this, and then Charles is just like,
the model.
Or whatever. I don't know if he's saying that. Yeah. Well, he's always got an excuse.
He always has an excuse.
And then but Bedros is like, you should know better. Like, and so whatever. I revisited that argument that I've heard for fucking ages. And so what was I going to say this? This is what. So I'm doing good on that body. And I didn't mind working on it. I love the truck.
Yeah.
Like, I like the project. Like, it's a nice truck to build.
No more CNs?
That's you and your fucking ilk that have to do that. I was telling that to Tammy how fucking. So on one hand, because you're sugar free, other than your personal life, I'm still getting emailed. But at work, you had this lifted off your shoulder. I don't think it's because of me or listening to me, but you're still like giving them what they want. I don't know if you've taken on like, less of a responsibility for the result of what happens. Yeah,
for some things. I used to take on more like when I would work on a body type of thing, I would be like, oh my God, like I have to finish this. I have to do this. Like they're looking at my thing. And so you know how the schedule comes out, Nicole writes the schedule and you see what everybody's doing. You've seen it on Ali's desk. It's just like a grid paper that says everybody's name.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes, yeah. With the blocks, with the square. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking to Nicole about it and she's like, I was like, it's just hard sometimes because like, even though Booby's self-sufficient, he comes to you for everything. Oh, this is fucked up. What should I do? Oh, I need my parts. Well, can you get this? And same thing with Gordon. I was telling her how the frustrations with that, like you can't even get in a groove. You know, sometimes you just get in a groove and you just start working. I can't even do that. And she said, me and Marcel don't even get scheduled bodies anymore. We have nothing on our grid. So that made me feel a little better because now they're not really expecting a body beside my name.
Did you only realize this week?
I thought about it, but this is confirmation now. Now I know.
Wow.
And then when I was sending an email about crane straps and shit, I looked on Ali's desk and all Booby was standing there flipping through the pages and he's like, why is there nothing on your name? It's odd because we talked about it that day. I said, she doesn't put nothing on my body and Marcel has nothing in his thing. I'm like, we just have nothing. So it just feels it's like I feel like a little less pressure.
I'm glad of that. I would have given you more shit to add that to your thing because the wrong thing for you to do before was making more responsible on what other people did as a finished product.
Yeah.
And you at times were concentrating on, am I giving them enough? Am I just a Mandy to them? Is this, you know what I mean? Like on me, and I was hoping you would realize it's not that, like just putting out the fires and using your authority, all that we've hashed before. So I thought that was only it. If you were also adding your own personal like time to it, like you even talked to me about the body that I'm doing. I think I'm fucking doing a phenomenal job on this truck.
Yeah.
And I know how much hours they have in it. I just want to make it right. Like I don't like. It's not a. It's a, if I feel some of the pressure, and we talked about it when I'm doing it beside Johnny.
Yeah,
and I realized like, oh man,
are you guys doing the same body now?
No, we're not. Okay. We haven't done that for a while, and it's funny because we did it twice, and the first time he was ahead of me, and I might have been ahead of him the second time, and it might just be appearance because you were staggered starts or whatever it was, but like I just whatever I felt negative, and it wasn't as long as I felt you'd feel negative about these things. It's like. I washed it off for whatever reasons I could care less. Like, first of all, I don't care.
I don't give a fuck.
And secondly, like, it's one of those things. He's trying harder. Maybe he's just better and faster. And then when I was doing the second one, and because maybe because I'm doing it again, and I just like, I might find not shortcuts to not get the job done, but just things like this is not going to be like, I don't need to screw on those adjustable panels. I can just put a peg in and locate them.
I seen your method.
And so, but it's just a nonsense thing to screw them on and take it off. And so, but he does, so shit like that, I can do faster than him maybe.
Yeah.
Setting up and so I realized like, oh, he's feeling a little way now. Cause when I told him to slow the fuck down a truck ago, he's telling me to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
So all of that was self-made. And so I don't want to add that to my day. I just want to make this truck done where I bring Sammy over. Hey, you wanted this measurement? I'm giving you this measurement, right? We're all good with this. I can move forward. And it makes me feel better. Marcel, I know he doesn't have these same feelings as you do, that this responsibility to get the product done.
Yeah.
He's like punching in, punching out and dealing with personalities and all these things he's got to do now. But what I was telling Tammy, amongst other things, is I was trying to explain the thing he had to do for Alvin's shit.
Oh my God.
Which I would never have done. Right? I told you, I don't know why you just didn't drill holes in the fucking crane tower top.
Yeah.
And then make a new top because you had to make a new top anyway. Right? Like that whole situation, not just because I said that solution, but if you think of it now, you could have done something different.
He had the crane tower top on a non-crane tower side.
Oh, it was already done.
Though, yeah, so the hole was already there.
So that's the one you had to cut off.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a plain one.
No.
So man. He put the crane tower top on a non-cone.
Yes,
No, Alvin.
Yes, it was so bad because
wow.
he said because he was talking about it, he's like, I feel so bad, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. And he's like, I was putting the top hat on, which is like a brace that we put on the top of the.
Yeah, this is getting
the It's very hard to explain. And so he said he saw the cutout, the lines, but he thought it was the mark from the suction cup that when they put it on the laser. So he's like, whatever. I didn't even I just thought it was the suction cup. So I just welded it. And like he welded the top of you weld the top to the roof. He welded right in the corner. Oh my God, Jay! It took me 6 hours, Jay. It took me 6 fucking hours
for you. So this is one of the things. I mean, it's not a I told you so situation, but among the many reasons why I told you I don't aspire to do your job.
Jay. And the funny thing is, this is the thing though, because Ali was about to leave. Right, he had the doorknob walking out the door when I called him, and I said, Ali. I said, we fucked up. He's like, are you kidding me? You know how Ali is. So he comes over there and he's like, oh my God. And he's looking and he's like trying to figure it out. And he's just like, you have to cut it. Oh. And he's like, who did that? First, he's like, who did this? I said, it's Alvin. He's like, oh, Alvin. He's like, benefit of the doubt. He doesn't do much of these, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, he was asking me about the last fuck up, which Aaron's fuck up, which took me like 4 hours to do. He's like, you took pictures, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah. He's like, did you send those pictures to anybody? He's
the grievance report.
I said, no. Because I think Ali thinks that I will just automatically report things to everybody else. When it comes to the production, the well thing, I know how he is. Sometimes he doesn't want them seeing these things. He doesn't want to see the things. He doesn't want management see the things get cut apart and stuff like that. He said this to me several times.
Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. I think he gets more grief about the welders messing up in things. Because he's told me last night, well, not last night, but this week, he's like, yeah, they say the welders are messing up. That's why hours and blah, blah, blah. If we do things and we don't mess up, then we can justify why we're over hours and stuff like that, right? So even when I was on days before, he used to say, wait till everybody goes, because we used to stay late. Wait till everybody goes, then fix it. That's what he always used to say. But so I think it's because it was Alvin, and he said to me, he's like, it's Alvin. I saw him put it up, but I said, it's Alvin. He's going to do it right. Whatever, because he's a good worker. He just doesn't do side packs.
It's part of that. He hasn't been, he's never probably watched anybody build one.
No, he's done 3 since he's been here.
Yeah. And so that's one of those things is like, when we talked about it in a way, like you need to shadow, and like
sure.
we don't have that apprentice.
No, we don't.
Problem. We throw people in the
and then
the
he
fire.
had Aaron helping him. So.
Well,
But-
that's his own fault for being like such a easily to get along person.
I know. So I told Alvin, I said, you're
Oh.
lucky, because if it wasn't for you, if it was like Aaron's body or like Gurpreet's, I would probably fight and not cut it. But because
Make
I
them
want to
do it, or make them find
I'd
another
make
way?
them do it on day shift. But because it's Alvin, we have a good relationship. Like I know he's not a bad worker, it's just a mistake. Then I was just like, you know what? I'll save him the face.
Is this part of the Ali line of thinking? Like, just let not production, like the bosses think of that?
Yeah.
So I think when you tell me that, it makes me feel like Ali takes responsibility that he doesn't need to on for the sake of his, like who?
All the time.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
All the time.
If me or Johnny make a mistake, what? It's almost like if I'm you or Ali, it's just like I'm going to tell you why this is going to be late because this fucking idiot made a mistake.
But Ali's not going to say anything about it. If you tell Ali you fucked up and it's going to take you like a couple hours, and then somebody asks Ali, why is that taking so long? He's just going to say that's how long it takes. He's not going to say he messed up. He's not going to say any of that.
I don't even. So I agree with that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That makes you a better man, like
For
person.
sure.
Like makes you
That's a
better
leader,
teammate.
man.
That's a leader. That's
for
what you try to
sure.
do, and you're a different leader. Like I'm not saying you go do that, but you lead in more apparent ways to me. And you can learn off of a guy like Ali. Like, in the same way that I feel that way, I never write rework. Like it has to be the most extreme situation
Yeah.
that I would. If something is fucked, I'll just do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If something is fucked, like again, this is more of a privileged thing. Like nobody's coming to question me.
Yeah.
And if I'm over, we're not talking a lot. And I have the, you know what I mean? Like we've talked, like whatever I'm doing, they have confidence they're going to get what I have.
Absolutely.
And these hours that we can get concentrated on so hard are minuscule. Like even if it's an 8 hours over a 41-hour job.
Yeah, what is that?
That's not the fucking end all be all.
For
you
sure.
can make it feel that way. And a bad leader, and when they are being bad leaders, they make you feel that's the worst thing. Right, but if it's like the 10th one you've done, and now you're still 8 hours over, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
Like it's not you, it's me. Or you know what I mean? It gets that for a while, and so you have to find that out. But I do, like I said, I don't want to take on more responsibility. Our responsibility is getting it done right.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You've talked about it in a way with your meetings with the lean production and not just like the safety stuff is added on, but getting people like properly trained. Right, like when you're supervising people, these aren't properly trained. I don't even know how we got all this way deep into fucking work stuff. I meant to talk to get off of that.
Sorry.
To get off of that is in that train to stay in the work thing is like all you and Ali and Marcel do is fucking repair work. When I was mentioning to Tammy about that, she knows how much I can't do that. Like I could have done lots of things in my life.
Come on.
I could have done, no, I can't, not that I can't do that. I refuse to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing about our work and what I do is building things from new.
Yeah.
Right? Like not because I need the instructions, but I hate rusty shit. I hate greasy shit. I hate stuff that like, I don't mind like,
man, I agree.
The fucking Green Beret thing is like adjusting and adapting and figuring something out. But not that it's beneath me, but it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Like those rusted things that you've had to fix where like the metal is all rusted away and you're welding nothing.
Oh yeah, on the bottom of that
yeah,
one
like
truck.
you know what I mean? It's like, okay, fix the sliding top for me. It's like, well, with what?
Yeah.
Right? And you feel powerless because you think, well, what do they expect from me? And so it just feels again thankless. Right? Like nobody realizes how hard it is to fix these things.
Yeah.
It's dirty and I don't have to do it, and I'm so used to building clean. And yeah, I'll take my ball and go home. Like I want to build big, like right from scratch.
Yeah. Ali never really lets me do like dirty work. He leaves it to Booby and he leaves it to Marcel.
You've had to do some repair shit. Like so, this is what Marcel's been fixing that front compartment of that fucking CN
those
truck.
Stuff I never do.
You will be. You're getting more of you.
He knows I don't do that stuff because I remember one time. This was years ago. This was years ago. It was a 407 truck, right? And Ali was like, "Oh, you remember that other truck that came in that they had to cut out the whole crane tower?" Well, that was, I mean, I guess you wouldn't remember, but they had to cut out a whole crane tower. I was in there for like a month and a half. And like, Ali was like, I know you don't want to do this kind of stuff. And he's like, so I'm going to get Booby to do it. All the time. One time there was the 407 truck and underneath had that rust coating underspray, that oily shit.
Oh my God.
Ali's like, do you want to do this? I said, is there oil under there? I said, he's like, yes. I said, no. He's like, okay, Booby will do it. So he never really puts me in those positions.
Good
thank
for you.
God. But I still have to cut out entire side packs.
Well, yeah, you're not.
I'm not off
You can
scot-free.
nitpick, but I don't want to be any part of that. Never mind. Like I was saying, like I was adding that to all this interpersonal shit that I would never get involved in. That I've talked about fucking ad nauseum. But listen, man, like I think, well, that's good. That's probably why you've been having a little bit lighter, like self to yourself at work, and not too bad.
Yes,
just telling me more personal problems with yourself.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so other than that, having a 3-day week must have been fine, right? Getting all that out of your system.
I feel like it's Sunday, and then I realize that it's still Saturday and
You
Sunday.
think today's Sunday?
Yeah.
Were you using your time wisely? Are you still not drinking?
Yeah, not drinking. I took shots with you. Tradition.
And so I appreciate. Yeah, thanks. I was. I don't want to send you off. I didn't know if a long weekend is a reason to break your 1 week commitment already.
Well, we did think about it, saying like it's an extra day, so it's like a long weekend. And like we said that like special occasions we would still drink. Like I have an anniversary party coming up in May, one of my cousins, and like we're gonna have to drink, aren't we?
Yeah. No. You weren't like. I mean, my worst talking about this. I'm thinking you're like going to the other side, and I'm going to lose you. But those are like things to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's why you don't overindulge all week when you don't really have to, and then you go to. But you said you're trying to get your fucking summer beach bod going. You don't want to have like I don't know.
Starting Monday.
You're not exercising. No, I just figured because you're not fucking having to drink. Whatever. I don't know.
Thanks, Jay.
There's many reasons that you're doing, but you've added that to your reasons.
Yeah.
Thinking of your summer beach bod, and I get it. Like I've been fucking since family day. I've been trying to be good. Like I'm binging hard on the weekend. And so I don't see the scale moving down, but it's moving down enough. And what can give you motivation is even if it's for me, like the small increments, it's just like, oh, the desire to slip back is just going to put me more back in that, like, commitment, like in my desired goal for weight.
Yeah.
Like I'm not putting a goal on you for your non-drinking, but still can't figure it out. But for me, it's just like, I see that. I see like I don't want to like discourage that, but that doesn't mean like, oh, it's a birthday party. I gotta have cake.
Yeah.
I don't want to be this person.
Sure.
Like I'm not going to do like, that's not the problem. Like I said to Dan, this is again a sidebar. She was getting groceries and part of like when I'm on my best, I won't even have bread at all. But now I'm not at my best, and so I'm having sandwiches, like get some cold cuts, and I'll fucking like throw shit on, getting the. And I'm not like a cheese lover, right? But I'll have cheese, like cheddar cheese off the and all that shit, and it's super fattening. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't even like I've never like think of those things, like shit that you just like milk or cheese or dairy products. Like I know people can cut that shit out together, just like bread. I'm from a generation where bread and cheese and milk were supposed to be good for you, not bad for you.
Yeah.
I guess it's all in moderation too,
all
right?
in moderation.
But not really, because I don't have it all week and I'll have it on the weekend. And I'll just like, if I'm like, so I'm losing a pound a week, which is fine. It's
That's
good.
great.
No, but it's not fast enough.
Yeah.
Part of it is just like, God damn, I'm trying so hard. But then it's like, are you really? Like Thursday comes, like you'll have some beers. Then this is where I throw this in there. Wednesday, the weekend comes, it's like, oh, you're loading cheese onto your sandwich, you fat fuck, right? Like, oh yeah, you'll put a couple of pieces of bacon on your turkey sandwich. Like remember, the best of you wasn't even having this.
Yeah,
right. Like you could hold on, and so I'm so weak, and I want it. It's good. It's like, you've done good, and you have it. So I can't have my bread and eat it too, or I can't eat my bread and have it. So, but. Like I went on Wednesday, weighed myself, and part of me was just I wanted to drink so bad. I still have to work on Thursday, but it's Survivor's on, Big Brother's on. I wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
And soon, this is another thing. The playoffs are starting. And like I have to drink. Like my fucking teams are so nerve-wracking. Like I can't watch the Leafs lose another playoff series without drinking.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so I'm not I've already did that. When I very first started dieting, I didn't drink, and then the next year I was like, okay, that was my key to be able to reward myself. So along with those times that I told you I brought the beer back, and this week thinking of having things, it's like, no, you know what? In a week the playoffs are going to start. That's a real reason to have a drink. Not really, not like your party,
but it is.
It's a reason.
Yeah, it is.
I can justify it. So don't do it this week. You'll wake up and you'll feel irresponsible to that future self.
Did it work?
Yes, I didn't do it. Like I haven't done it. The cheese thing comes into this thing. Is like I've noticed this now. I was just like, oh man, I only really lost another pound, where I was hoping it to be more. Not concentrating on, at least I didn't gain a pound type of concentrate. And now that's just like, oh, so Tammy calling from the store, do you want some more cheese this week? So you know what? I think I'm going to phase that out. I'm gonna like maybe if I'll still have sandwiches, but I don't have to put all that cheese. Maybe it'd be minuscule. She makes a comment, goes, "Oh, so you think it's the cheese? Like, it's not the cookies, it's not the chips, it's not the jujubes, right? Like it's like a million different things, right?" She fucking honestly and righteously pipes up, "Oh, so you think it's the cheese that's holding you back?" I go, "You fucking bitch! How dare you? No, it's not the cheese. I just was thinking about the cheese. I don't want the cheese." It's just like, and she was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm just teasing you."
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
I know, but you're triggering me right now. I just like you should be. I want you to be supportive. Oh, good, a pat on the back. Good boy. Don't have the
boy,
cheese.
yeah.
But she's looking at it, going, "You fat fucking! Don't eat the bag of chips after the sandwich, and you'll be fine."
Thank God I put out the cheese.
So,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was trying to look at the content, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
so
one
I'll
thing
get
at
to
a
the chips
time.
and all that other thing, whatever. But that's what I don't even know again
Yeah.
why I brought that. You're the sober one. You got to keep me on track here.
I'm trying.
So
I'm
I don't know
trying.
what else is why I even fucking mention that to what we were talking about
You
before.
did bring up Big Brother that you'd be drinking and watching. So you didn't drink and watch Big Brother this week?
No. Well, yesterday I did.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday was my Friday light.
Friday, yep.
Right? And it's not a special one because I always have Thursday, Friday light.
Yep.
Big joints, big drinks. And so because you had an extra day off, I know TV's not as important to your life as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still only on last week's Big Brother?
No, we're one episode. We didn't watch Thursdays.
You didn't watch Thursday, so you saw. So you tell me, where do you want to start on this Big Brother?
Where do I want to start? We want to start at the Rats.
What do you mean, the rats? Whoa,
The rats.
Who are the rats? Nice.
Zach is the rat.
Yeah.
Zach and Ty are the rats.
How come?
So I have mixed feelings about it. So if we
rats because they told on Hope.
Yes.
Oh, I
so
see.
people who don't watch Big Brother, Hope is this guy who had got a message snuck into his luggage the day after they came in, right? He didn't sneak it. His girlfriend snuck it in.
That's
there,
right.
right? And so the Zach and Ty, he told only Zach and Ty. And then when it came to a couple weeks later, it came to a situation where they could use it to, they told production that he has this note a couple weeks later.
Ratted him out.
They ratted him out. And that's why I'm calling them the rats.
And I'm going to have to try to put myself like back in this thing. I'm glad you've caught up a little bit, so I don't have to worry about too much what I've talked about. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, not that you care. So Big Brother is a intricate game.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's got details on it. This one seems to be a little bit more snippy than past Canadian Big Brothers have been.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, I mean, you can throw whatever, fucking anything, like how people act into it or whatever. Rat is a good way. Zach comes off not very well. Part of it is because he plays so hard.
Yep.
Part of it is a cockiness. Like confidence and cockiness are like a balance beam combination,
For
right?
sure.
Like you can't be confident if you're not cocky.
Yep.
And nobody likes somebody who's too cocky or too confident. But he was very good.
He was doing a good job.
Like it just that you take it, if you, what am I got to do here? Not how it rubs other people,
Yep.
but just like getting into the head of household's ear and being like, the amount of people who thought he was their number one.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Actually,
that Dan S
legitimate
guys,
thought,
the two gay Dan guys,
Yeah.
Ty, the girl, Santina. He had 5 people who legit thought he was fucking the man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like maybe because we're watching it from the outside, I was like, how did they not see this? Because while I do agree that he did have good gameplay, I don't think it's winning gameplay only because all the winners know when to pull back.
That's a great distinction. It's
They
not winning
always know.
gameplay.
Yeah.
Like that's a good point. That's maybe a life. There's a difference between being good and a winning, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
player.
Yep.
But it's, again, you can see hypocrisy in both ways.
For sure.
Right? Like everybody has to be a bit like Zach to be a winner.
Yep.
And if you're nobody respects a floater, but you have to be some kind of floater to be a
You
winner
have to be
too.
some kind of floater.
I remember like in the more like iconic Big Brother games of like mostly US ones, the amount of people that don't win because people are butthurt about how they've been played. Like you're always being played.
Yeah, this Big Brother.
Like,
what the
and
hell?
to be butthurt about being played, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to watch somebody do that. What Zach did is he never had that victim mentality.
Yeah.
I don't like that. What I don't like about Hope, I don't know if it's because he's just like a big strong guy or I wanted more from him because he's from Milton. It's just like he plays a victim too much.
Yeah. Soft.
He plays it soft. What this week showed me, and it's not, I don't think, is that he has a bit more game than he actually shows.
Yeah.
Like he comes into the diary room and he's like, I'm playing that. I still don't know if he, I just attach it to youth. Like he's like an immature 23-year-old, right? Like, and so I should forgive it for that. And so, but at the same time, I break all the rules. I love breaking rules. I mean, I think the older I get, I like some rule. I don't know. We all like to hold on to our rules.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're a safety guy. Like you see it at work. Like how do I keep production going and make everybody wear their safety glasses? What, I'm going to send half the people home?
Exactly.
Right. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a fine balance, right? I'm doing this for your own good, whatever it is. So rules are rules and they're there for a reason. So having a note from home from your wife saying, you know, love you, that does nothing for you.
Yep.
Right. But I've never been in a Big Brother game. I've never been isolated from my loved ones. Loved one. So, and I don't have like I've never felt that the need to like need that internal support when they, especially later on in the game, when they get those letters when they win the head of household.
It means more. If
you're on Survivor and you get that letter and a video, you're just you watch the emotion. I get emotional watching them get emotional,
and I still don't get it weeks in. Well, to be honest,
because your children be booby in your own apartment, being by yourself.
I'm just like shit. Like, yeah, thanks guys. But while I do agree that it doesn't really mean anything. It was in the beginning. Like, how do you miss people that early on? Like Selena said that to me. She's like, it's like a weekend. You don't miss anybody. No. Like you've gone on vacation before, True. Have you not?
True.
So it's like that. But I do agree that the rule is broken, and that day he did deserve to get some punishment for it.
The worst in that situation is if you get fed a note that has some kind of advantage to the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like this person's a cop, or you know what I mean? Or whatever. This person said this something about you.
Yeah. And that you get a note like that, you should be evicted. I think the production handled it well. They took his vote away and they took his chance to win in the next head of household.
I agree. And
they gave everybody else a letter from home.
That's a good point. That's a way to bring that. I was interested in what they were going to do.
Yeah, me too.
So Zach and Ty, who were running the game, but then were getting kind of called out on the fact that they're running a game. And it's not just that what they were doing. It's in a game like Big Brother and other politics is just othering other people. Mm-hmm. It's like how do I make me a majority and finding a minority? Right? The more minorities, not minority people, but minority groups, that means they're going to get targeted for whatever reason it is. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you just need to find a reason, and then they become like it was maybe last episode, and it wasn't between Zach and somebody else, but like there was a fight going on between with people in the house, and spoiler alert, is probably from last episode, and Kuzi like left the whole situation. That had nothing to do with her. Two other people going this. She's in the fucking kitchen dancing. Nobody's going to be thinking of me for 2 weeks. Like just fight people, fight, right? Because that puts them in a minority.
Yeah.
Like, these three people are whatever, loud.
Yeah.
And so
they have all the attention on them.
So once Zach and Ty get found out, like, because it's easy to put them in a minority now, right? But it's playing too hard, doing that. The rats, but this is where I'm saying from. What else would you do? This is like, it's a rule. Like, I do find the ultimate punishment was fine enough. When he's in a no-win situation, he's like, and this is why I tied it to our work-related situation. Like, I find like Zach and Ty are like Gordon and Jordan and Sugar, right? And it's just like, so we know this, right? Like with Gordon and Sugar, it's like, oh, they need us more than we need them. With the Big Brother thing, it's like, oh, this guy broke a rule. They only bring it up is it's like, oh, he's not doing what we want him to do.
Yeah,
we're controlling the whole game here.
Yeah.
We're mad. We can't control this guy.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna rat you out because you broke the rules.
And that is why I think it was the way the production handled it was perfect, because you don't want to set precedents that this is going to be a thing. Now you can use the rules to get people out when they see me. We saw it last season on Big Brother America when they did that with the guy and the racist thing, saying that they're starting to do. They kept that in their back pocket to use the rule against that guy just so when they can use it. And I'm pretty sure they must have seen it on Big Brother Canada and saw that this could be a problem. If everybody learned their lesson from that.
Interesting.
Production was probably like, we can't let these guys strong arm me like Sugar tried to strong arm our company. Right? So they said, you know what? It wasn't, they did, I guarantee, for sure if it was divulging information that nobody would, they probably would have got rid of it.
Different punishment.
Yeah, but because it wasn't that bad, and the fact that they used it, because that's why they asked them, how long did you know about this? Because I guarantee you, Big Brother probably knew. They have cameras and microphones everywhere. How did they not know?
Interesting.
Right?
I never thought of that either.
They probably already knew, and they wait and they said, how long did you know about this? And they told them, even if they didn't know, they found out that these people were holding it as a back card in their pocket. I don't think Big Brother's meant to be the all-seeing eye, right? Like the watching everybody in the house or the world type thing. You're not supposed to control them and say, if they don't do what I want, then I'm leaving the show. They don't give a fuck. Leave the show then. Like, they don't care.
Well, that's what happens.
Then that's exactly what happened. So I think that's why that was the best way. And then giving everybody a note. So then animosity's gone away. Well, why did he got a note and I didn't? So now everybody has a note.
Well, I guarantee you if Zach had it, and everybody was already against Zach anyway, they would have been howling how unfair it is. Because they hate Hope. Yeah. And because Hope plays this victim type of guy when he shouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Because Hope is a great social person, and everybody likes him, and he was on all their alliances. If it was somebody against them, if it was Ty or Zach, they would have been less forgiving.
I think Zach would have been less forgiving. I think Ty would have been forgiven. But I think Zach would have been.
Well, yeah, because nobody wanted to forgive him for anything anyway.
But some people, like when they said, when they were told about the situation, I was watching people's reactions. So I was like, I want to see how they're going to react. And some people were like, why would they say anything? Like a lot of the people in the house, there were some people who didn't, like Santina. What's that other gay guy's name?
There's Dan C and Dan S.
Dan C is the big guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't agree with him they didn't really agree with, him having the situation. But some people were like, why even say anything? What was in the note? People said, like, they wanted to know what, and they didn't really care. So it is two sides. And I put myself in the house. Would I care? Probably not. I don't give a fuck.
I know, but I do think it all tied up with the proper punishment, and it will discourage other things from that happening. And it wasn't that kind of a thing. And you're right. Like, the whole Big Brother thing is like the fact that you waited a week, you weaponized it.
Yeah.
You tried to weaponize the racist thing in the US thing.
Yep.
And so that's an interesting comparison, because that's all was broken in the US racist thing was social norms.
Yeah.
Or like, in that situation, he got let off, not by Twitter or anybody. He got let off because of youth and like his growing up situation. At the best of it, Monty and the older guy, like, this is what we talked about before, is this, and I empathized with them so much because they wanted to forgive, but they just like, it's just another forgiving thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's happened to them their whole lives.
Yeah.
And like with the older guy, it's just like, yeah, okay, like, how much do I really believe you? How much is this going to go? And in the best of it is like, me hating you for doing this racist thing isn't going to benefit either of us, right? Like, can we grow from this, right? Like, I don't want to hate, like, that was the best of it. Even Taylor, the one, it's just like, I just want to grow from this, right? And there's some forgiveness. So what rules were broken were human relationship rules. No written down rule, like nothing to kick him out for.
No.
Right? Like nothing that Big Brother, the almighty scene, written down for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like racial things in the rules, but he didn't really
he didn't
hate anybody.
He was doing game theory, or like he was like basing his game on race.
Yeah.
He wasn't like individualizing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so, but just as a rule broken, that's just a social broken rule.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where he had to be like taught on it. But then it quickly turned to the guy playing the greatest game, that guy with the glasses, whatever it was, who weaponized it.
Yeah.
Who knew it and just like, well, we'll bring it up when I'm in trouble and we'll get Kyle in trouble. And so that in hindsight, that looked so ugly. That showed that you don't care about racism at all. You just want to like use it to, you know what I mean? Like use it as a gun and say, look at this racist fuck.
Yeah.
Well, if you cared about racists, then you're just as much of a racist fuck by holding this for a week.
Yep.
And so I'm only bringing it up like that, and it's way over my head. It's just like you holding on to this like this kissy note, right? It has nowhere the same consequences. Only in a social structure, right? Like, but it actually had a rule broken because it's the thing you brought in that could have information. So I agree, the person not telling, but that's in this Big Brother wing. If you're not a rat, then you become more of a then you're just as guilty.
You become an accomplice.
Like we were talking earlier, we brought it up. I don't know. I can't even remember.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say the only difference with that accomplice thing is that those two accomplices only knew about it. They didn't break any rules by knowing about it. They broke rules, but they did break a rule because I think they said that you're supposed to bring it to Big Brother.
They broke a rule by not bringing it right away.
They had already broke that rule.
Yeah.
So if they would have brought it right away, I would have been like, whatever. Like you're a rat, but it's not as bad.
In hindsight, they should have punished Ty for not bringing it right away.
Yeah.
That would have been next time you go, you can't protect Hope from himself. You have to let us know he brought a note.
Yeah.
Right, like it's encouraging ratism or rats, but in this situation, that's not the issue.
If you cared about the rules, you would have cared from the beginning. You cared about the rules enough to quit.
That's the weapon.
But you didn't care.
This is where I tied in with your work because Ty was never leaving. Right, like when they got on their moral high horse and we're so this is bringing like the game down. Like at their worst.
Yeah, like get out of here.
At their piousness, they were like, I can't be a part of such a thing that would allow this. And it all stemmed because they were threatened and he was going to go. And so he was ultimately like, and I guess they had conversations like, if they don't agree with us and kick Hope out, then we're walking. We can't be a part of this game.
Yeah.
But then when it got down to the gritty and Kai was, and Zach was already, or Buddy was already going, it was just like, okay, you coming with me? I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Sugar and fucking Gordon. Like, worse is we're going to lose a good employee like Gordon. And then it's like, Sugar's like, okay, I'm going to go. Gordon, you come with me? Well, you know what? I don't want to look for another job.
I don't want to look
Maybe.
for another job.
I'll see you in the parking lot.
I'm moving out now.
Yeah. I owe the coffee to $200. I got to go.
Right?
No, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Sugar's out the door anyway. And in that way, it's just like, I'm so happy for Ty. Like, it's a bitch move. But you do we all make bitch moves. Like you do have to.
Everybody has bitch moves. I would have just not said that. Like if somebody would have said to me in that situation, yeah, I'm going to quit. I don't care. You coming with me? I'd be like, no.
I think that's the power of Zach. That's why Zach, that guy's probably
he can rally guys. What was his job?
Well, he's like an entrepreneur. Like he's probably got a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So what he has is what you wish Kevin had more of.
Absolutely.
Right? Like it's not going to make Kevin more of less of an asshole.
No.
Right? It's just going to probably highlight those asshole qualities. Like nobody thinks this guy's not an asshole.
Yeah.
But he's successful because he concentrates on those things and he knows how to do it. Your buddy Kev is like, spreads his talents all over the place and it's, whatever. Like
any time of friction or pressure, he's out of there.
And it's, so in those situations, his worst qualities outweigh his best qualities. We never see it. And this is that guy's personal life. He doesn't care if like the people. If you don't like him, he's moved on.
Yeah,
like he's sold you a car, or he's sold you a house, or he's done just drone footage, or he's done whatever his job was, and he's moved on.
Yeah,
right. And you'll find like the people that can dig him. And I do find like like it's not an accident that he had all those people that were working with him,
for sure.
and he became a target. So I did like I think I don't know yet if it's. I'm finding this the most personally contested Big Brother Canada.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Not personalized like this racist shit coming into it, but like people like not liking like whatever. It's some smart gameplay, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's starting to get a little fleshed out now, so people are starting to see their positions. They're starting to see more where they're at. I think that because Zach was in the house doing a whole bunch of controlling, people really weren't forced to play their own game.
True.
Right now that he's gone, like Hope is hopefully gonna start coming out. Ty is gonna start playing his own game. Like he said, he wants to reset and start fresh. Kuzi, that's her name.
Yeah,
she's gonna have to. She's been somewhat playing for the whole time, but now she's gonna really have to start. She's gonna end up being a target very soon.
So I think she's positioned herself to be the least target of the strongest people there.
I mean, she's won.
But nobody's ever.
She wasn't the invisible. Okay.
No, she wasn't. Santina was the invisible.
Yeah, I like her.
I like her as well too, and I find that what is more admirable, Kuzi's had an easy ride.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's like other than Zach, like confronting her. Like she's also very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like she stands up for herself.
Yeah.
It's not annoying, but she seems to have to defend herself too much. like when she was HOH, she's just fucking in front of the camera all the time. Like, you know what I mean? And that's fine. Like, gives you self-confidence or whatever. It's just like, no, you're
She's probably
doing good.
been doing that her whole life.
That's what I mean. It's a self-affirming thing, and she's just doing it, and that's, you know, whatever. I don't hate it at all. I admire it. I want more people to have that. I want more of that. But she's also very great at social, right? And so she hasn't been looked at as a threat yet. People want her in their groups. Yeah. Right? Like, you've seen the groups, like with and who's also coming off as better to me and is the big Dan guy. And at first I thought he more of a floater-ish. Yeah. But he's actually let his opinions be heard a bit more. And he's done some more things that
for his game.
Yeah. And more often than not, he's done things for his game and not a group game. He's strong enough to not promise something and have to walk it back.
I always like people in Big Brother who are in that, who positions themselves in the game in that way. Like, you're not like, we have yet to see if he's not a floater, but he did win something. So where you're not really committed to everybody, but nobody really thinks that you're just by yourself type of thing. Like, I think that's like a very good position to play.
I like that too. I know what you're saying.
Who's that guy, that Indian guy from Big Brother Canada? I think he kind of played that. Kiefer. He played that same type of position-ish, right?
Yes, like I can't describe it. Like, yes, like those are the iconic ones. Like, like the Dr. Will, like, it's like, I think I know what you're saying. I like that quality of a player as well. Yeah. I think we like the game so much that we've seen these, like, it's easy. What, we got like 5 categories we put these people in? Like, it's hard, right? Like, if we don't. I think it's a way to see it. This is what the difference between Canadian Big Brother and American Big Brother in a way is. It's like, so Kiefer, it wasn't like he played on the Indigenous thing all the time. No. Right? Like, but we don't know, like, when he brought stuff up, it was stuff I never heard, like, have the time to listen to somebody talk about, right? And where he comes from and all that. And so what becomes is we're Canadian, we think we know Canada, or we know who we know in Canada. But then we come to this, cross all these people, like, they all have their own different stories and how they got to be there. And so what Kiefer did is never played a victim. He, you know what I mean? Like, talked about being from a reservation and being Indian and what that's like, but never was whammy. Yeah. He brought strengths. Like, at first it could become like, oh, this irritating guy. Like, is he floating? Is he this? Is he going back and forth? But what you realize when you hindsight, in Big Brother, it's all about hindsight. Yep. Right? It's just like we can't judge them on the week's behavior. No. We do, but it's like, how was the whole gameplay? It's just like, oh man, he never overpromised. No, he never like made this group and not that other group. Like there was a big alliance made this week in the Canadian Big Brother, and it's like it was made from fragments of a couple of other like alliances. And so you see that, and if it stays the same, it might be successful the whole way. But it's just like, oh, how is it going to be a matter of time before this one breaks? But if you like the people in it and you don't commit to those other ones, I don't know. I think I'm over explaining what we've already said, is that I agree with that not over promising and not like over pushing yourself. And the Kuzi comes across as a threat to us because we're watching the whole thing, but in like the groups she's in, she's just a positive number. Like what I said, so you're looking for that minority. Just as long as you're not in that minority group, and just like the one of like Ty is never not going to be a minority. No, like nobody's going to trust him.
He's always going to be a potential target for sure.
But at least you're cat up. I mean, I'm happy that you're watching some TV. Yeah. I don't know, whatever TV's go. Like, your Survivor's not on your wheelhouse. No. I only have other Twitter topics. I got some big worldly topics. Yeah. This was a good one. This is actually. I mean, it's a hard pivot from Big Brother, so I don't even know.
Go for it.
You have more Big Brother stuff?
Nope.
This is like, again, I heard somebody say, like, try to be self-critical without being self-hateful, right? Like, you don't want to drink for whatever reasons you are. Like I was talking about, like, not exercise. It's like, oh, because they ate the cheese and they only lost 1 pound. Don't hate. It's easy. Like, is it good to just like hate myself for that? Like, it's like, you fucking idiot. You can't not put cheese on your sandwich. You have to have to, like can I be critical in a way that's just like, hey, you know what? Don't get the cheese this week. Just put it on there. Like, I understand, whatever. Like, being nicer to yourself. Like, I look at you as a guy like, no, there's no room for niceness here. We got to cut it all off. Alcohol 1 day a week only. Like, no, we can't buy a 26er and try to make it go for 2 days. Yeah. We're just going to get that 26er and make it one. Like, that seems more of a hateful move than a critical one. It's just like, yeah, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like, is it finding an excuse to be soft on yourself or less disciplined? I know this is out of random.
I do think that. I feel like I think some people can do that. Some people can criticize themselves and then actually not everybody can take criticism, even if you're taking criticism from yourself. You know what I mean? So you're not necessarily gonna take the criticism and be productive with it. You might just say, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't be eating it, but it does taste good. So you know what? I'll be all right, type of thing.
Do you think being hateful will help that? Help you reverse that?
No, because I hear people who say they hate themselves for eating 2 buckets of KFC, but they still do it.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, oh man, I feel saying it makes me sound bitchy, like not bitchy, whiny, but like
saying
not being strong enough.
The hate or the criticism?
I find the criticism is a soft landing. Where the hateful is gives you a hard out. Well, maybe I think of and it's all just projection. Looking at you with your discipline with other people, not yourself, but whatever. You're making your wife not drink and your kids exercise, and not you. But it's just like no, exercise. Without having the hardness. It's just like okay, but you deserve the cheese or you deserve that. Like without being hateful, you're never going to get that result. And I agree. Like it was a conversation I heard them say. I think that by going that far. It's the balance. It's like being between critical and hateful. It's like is if you're too hard, you're gonna have the reverse. As if it's like, God damn, I haven't had this for so long. I've had such a weird way, like God, whatever, right? Like you crack. My concern for you is with your hardcore plan is and putting in this, but I'm not saying you hate yourself and you hate your way you're drinking or whatever, but by giving you this one hard out, it's just like you're setting yourself up for failure. Is by if you went for 2 days instead of 1, you could probably make that last longer than I think your 1 day is going to last. I find it just like God, whatever it is, and I think that's just me as self projecting. Yeah. And so it's not fair for me to do that to you. But when I hear it put in a way of again, it's like, oh, I hate myself for drinking too much. I can only do this once. That is an overall negative thing to do to yourself. Yeah. Right? So like, you know what? Yeah, I like to drink. Like, what's wrong with that? I'm going to try. And like, and so by allowing yourself just to try, maybe like Strong says, you know what? I got some cheese at home. I don't keep bringing the cheese. I'm fucking
Jay. Do you want some cheese?
I'm
make
hungry.
me order cheese after this.
You know what? I will go this week and I'll do it, and I'll just put a little bit less or whatever it is. Yeah. Like I'm just thinking, like, be critical and try to do something about it. Notice it, but that sounds like you're ignoring the problem. Right, like it's without being a hateful out, like nothing's gonna get done.
Yeah, for some people, like like I said, it's not everybody can take it just that easy. Not everybody can take a criticism and just go with and be like, yeah, okay, I'm good with it. I know me personally, I could probably critique myself into doing things I don't want to do, but Selena's not necessarily like that, right? So I'm willing to sacrifice giving myself a hard out because I know Selena can't give herself a hard out.
This is where you talked about last week, like balancing each other out.
Yeah.
I get that. I see. So so that's also playing on the people you're working with.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's just like Selena, like, it's just like, and I'm just like, so it's just like, can be on the side of nagging you to like, let's go to the LCBO. Come on, it's a long weekend. What's it going to hurt? And that's her role in this, right? She's like, yeah, I can do this. And then if you just say, okay, part of her is like, okay, yeah, but like then part of her is
seriously
self. Then I'm just putting myself in this as part of it. Like, oh, did I just jump us off the wagon? Like, is it because of me? Like, and,
and she does do things like that, and she will be like. If I say, like, sometimes I'll just say yeah to see what she says, and then she'll be like, seriously? Really? And then she'll be like, she'll say something like, I thought we weren't doing it, or whatever. So then it's like, yeah, you're right. We're going back. So it is a balancing thing, but I think it's more personal than just generalized. It's like dealing with Booby at work, for example. Booby, you can ask him to do things. Like, if I ask him to do something, I don't really want to sound like a dick, but I'm not really asking you. You know what I mean, though? Like, if I say, Booby, I need you to help me do this, he'll be like, no, I have all this stuff to do. And I'm just really thinking like, no, like I'm not really asking you, right? So I'll just be like, Booby, come help me do this right now type of a thing. More of a harsher thing. And that's when he'll listen. So it's like, I couldn't just critique, soft landing Booby, manage him like that, because he's his own man. You hear him all the time say, Booby, what are you doing? Fuck you. You know what I mean?
That's again why we like him. He mans up when he has to, and he gets the little collection going thing. But that's interesting in a way to put it at work. Like you might have to know who could take criticism and who needs the hard out.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a problem that you and Marcel have is and it's a jealousy thing or whatever. It's like you have too many people that think that they could do what you're doing, like the commitment that you've given them. Mm-hmm. They haven't been given that opportunity. This is like the Jordan and Aaron or whatever it is, or not to throw people out there, but the is where the Tariqs is like they don't want to hear you tell them what to do.
Yeah.
We were doing the same thing side by each, right? Like a week before.
Yeah.
And I don't respect you enough. And this is all imaginary. Like you can be in this climate where so I don't and I'm just going to put it with like an Aaron guy who you've just worked with on the floor. You don't have you just have a work relationship with, and you just, or maybe you have a podcast. I don't know, but you, so you fucking talk. And so you, I just don't feel that he gives you that same kind of respect of a boss that Ali gets, who's always been his boss.
Yeah.
Who's like, I was working beside you yesterday, and so I don't care what you want me to do.
Yeah.
Like, I can't put myself, because you would never tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Marcel doesn't really tell me what to do, but he can.
Yeah.
Right? That's a whole grander thing. Like that's that's not what I'm there for. You know what I mean? Like when Nicole's making her thing, it's, you know what I mean? Like, this is a job I'm going to do, and I don't need to be micromanaged that much. You have enough micromanaging going on, and I think with that micromanaging, those feelings get butthurt, and you learn like criticism is going to be taken for this guy, and I think that's that's where it goes. Like I'm just struggle with doing it myself, like and making other people do it. I don't want to have to like throw that into my day. I'm already like bringing the beer back from the fridge, you know, to the chair.
Oh yeah,
right. Like,
so was that a hard out type of a thing, or was that like a soft,
interesting
landing situation? If people don't know what I'm talking about, it's about Jay bringing his beer and then not drinking it and bringing it back to the fridge. Which
so
is
my
brave.
goal is like I've overindulged on the weekend, but as long as I can stay good during the week,
yes.
And we talked this week, I'm only doing a pound a week, and that's fine. Like I want more, but if I want more, I got to do more. And so part of that is I only drink it like you. I'll only buy a 26er, and you're going to do it all on Saturday. And I went from buying all the beer I want to just 1-2-4. Hey, look, I didn't drink it all on the weekend. Like I managed to have a couple left. So in my reward, it's like I still get to drink those. And so I did my exercises, and I'm going to have this one beer, and it's not going to throw me over the ledge, but mentally, I'm going to break my promise to myself. And so I said, I justified breaking that promise to myself. And I talked to my future self, and I was just like you don't want to drink on Friday because it's going to make you drink on Sunday. I looked at that beer and go, is it going to make me want another beer?
Yeah.
Is it going to make me want to eat chips?
Yeah.
Because that's when Munchie's like, well, other than edibles, like this is going to, like, it's going to slippery slope me. And so I was scared of the slippery slope. And so it was a hard out. Okay. Like I tried to critique. I tried to be like, yeah, you deserve it. Come on, you have 3. You only drank 21, so you still get those 24. Give yourself one. You've worked you worked 11 and a half hours today. You worked out for an hour downstairs. You had fucking chicken and an almost plain baked potato. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what else did the world want from you? Right? And that's a whammy thing. It's like, yes. Yeah. And so I looked at that beer and I realized how much it would be. And it's like, I predicted myself. I said, you know what this beer is not going to do for you? It's not going to make the first beer on Thursday taste any better. It's going to make it taste worse because you'd be like, what's the big deal? I had one on Monday.
Yeah, I had
one on Monday. Like that's what I like. Like that's, but I'm carrot reward based. Like I need that. Like this is where I can't
the apple with the horse.
I need that. I need it on the other side. I can't.
It
gives me that goal. And if I get lost in the that's what that beer, like having that beer, that was me thinking of not like agreeing with it more. And but it's all me wanting Christmas on Friday or Thursday. Like I love that. As a kid, I hated the anticipation of Christmas type of feeling. It's like, I want it now.
Yeah.
And we're adults, we can get whatever we want now all the time. Like, how else do you deprive yourself of something, right? Like, when you need a new monitor, you're going all out.
For sure.
You can think of all the other things that you want, with fucking go from Lego even down to a 26er on Friday. And it's like, but like, I'm just, how indulgent is that? Maybe that's a different word. Like, it's too indulgent.
Do you necessarily need it? Like, at what point? But that's what I was going to ask you. At what point? No, at some point, people start to think that the apple's just not worth it.
At some point, but that's probably people that got a couple of apples in their back pocket. Like, those are people that are living at their mom's.
Yeah.
I don't generally, that's people that don't really, like, when you, it might not land.
I mean, that apple's there, but I mean, there's some right there. When I do workouts with the boys and we go into we work out in the basement and stuff. So we do like the workouts are typically an hour or so, a little more. We do workouts for most of the beginning. And then at the end, we do like whatever type of game of whatever sport they're playing. So when Kai was in tennis, like last year or the year before, we would end off doing some sort of tennis hand-eye coordination game with them. They would do a game, whatever. And they would have a challenge. If they lose, they have to do like 20 push-ups or whatever it is. I always give them a challenge and they try to win, right? So lately, they've been given a lot of trouble with doing the workouts, because now it's become like 45 minutes of workout and like half an hour of playing like a soccer game lately. It's been like doing dribbles or kicking the net or just whatever. And obviously that's their apple. That's what they want to get to.
I see.
Right. And so so today and like one day last week, so when they start giving me trouble or they're not doing the effort in, like we were doing planks today. And they can do, they
were doing planks today.
They were doing planks today. They've done like 2.5 minute planks. Like they've done long planks. Today they were doing, I think it was like 45 seconds or 1 minute. And they were just acting like it was so hard. They were not putting in the effort. Even in the warm up in the beginning, they weren't putting in the effort. And typically when they start doing that, I just leave. I say, okay, that's it. We're done. We're not doing any more. They get very upset about it. But I never go back, because you're not getting the apple to put in your back pocket, okay? You're not getting that apple. You want that apple. You got to work for it. It's not easy. People always want to get this goal and think it's going to be easy. It's not freaking easy. So unless you're going to work towards it.
I like that about you. I'm fine with that. I can see what you're saying exactly, like it's bright as day. Like you can just see them fucking around.
Yeah.
They're concentrating on the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, that's a different topic. Like,
they are kids, but I don't want to. That's not an excuse.
You are like being such a fucking tiger mom in this moment here, because you think of the fucking. Back to my first topic, we didn't even get to Twitter. Is that you showed a sire at the soccer the gym, right?
Yeah.
And part of how good he was is the fucking clumsy kids beside him.
Yeah.
And you were so proud of why he's so strong and fast. And like, oh my God, like the other parents.
Yeah.
We even talk about how last week went when he was a level up.
Yeah.
And if that went any well.
He was very good.
You even said he might even still be one of the better kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were still, look at you smiling now.
It's
and
crazy.
you were so proud of like how much fitter. And so that comes with not allowing them to put apples in their back pocket. Right?
Exactly.
Like, but that's a positive to you. You know so that's you with apples in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that's because of me, people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not natural, but it's probably mostly natural.
They can think it's natural.
We can know. Anyway, and so I see that, but that's a cycle thing, right? Like you're in the minutia, or you're like, you know what I mean? Like in the details of a workout.
Yeah.
And we all, other than you, we all know how hard that is to do. And so we, never let it go. And so you have to motivate in that situation, right? He doesn't know why he's so good at soccer yet.
No.
Right? Like that's going to come and you'll realize and you'll get that benefit later. Just like, you know what I mean? With your daughter, like how easy I want to give up on a teenage girl's fucking problems.
Right.
You don't have that luxury.
No.
You don't get to be, you know what I mean? A father of a 21-year-old girl and say, oh my God, I wasn't there when she was 14 and 15, unless you don't do the work you're doing now. Mm-hmm. You'll never regret that. You can regret it now in the frustrations that it agrees with you, but just like making them work out and leaving them like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Like they know that more than any other 4-year-old on that soccer pitch does. And so you're right. It's a balance. You know what I mean? Like it's it's not giving them a hard out for like, no, work out.
Yeah.
I'm criticizing you right now. Like, you suck. We're not doing this. No soccer, whatever. I'm leaving you, kid.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh no, we did something wrong. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, right? Like, it's too personal. It's not just the product, or no. It's not just what you want to get out of that. It's how you get it done.
Yeah.
And now you're dealing with little kids.
Yeah.
And we don't realize like how grown men act like little kids when they're supposed to be doing the apple of the paycheck isn't supposed to be an apple.
Yeah.
It's fucking like lifeblood.
Yeah.
Like, it's water, it's manna, it's whatever, right?
It's hilarious.
It's like, it's not, so that's when it becomes it's retarded. Like,
Yeah.
why am I motivating you to come and do your job?
Exactly.
Like, you want to quit? Go the fuck ahead.
Yeah, get out of
Why are you
here.
emailing me like we should hire you back? There's no more carrots or apples here, dude.
Yeah.
We're fucking really sugar free.
We gave it to other people.
We've moved on.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't, you know what I mean? Like, and so this is when you can look at his friend who's still there, and is he going to look at me a certain way because I didn't do it? It's like, that guy should look at go, oh my God, the world actually does move on without me. Oh my God, Dad's leaving? Like, we don't have to do push-ups anymore? It's fine, but wait a sec, we don't get any reward?
Yeah.
No, this sucks.
Exactly.
Like, and this is me like, oh, that beer will taste great on Monday, but you know what?
Exactly.
It won't taste like the Thursday beer. And that's, you know what I mean? But that's a slippery slope for me and my own weakness. Like, you don't, want to earn that out, but you could change that at any time.
You can.
But not when you're a parent of a kid. Like, you want them, this is where I wish I did for myself more, not my parents' fault. I wish I instilled that more. When we talk about your friend Kevin, it's like, he's got potential earning wise and making his own life better in a way. And he just doesn't commit to any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last thing you want to wish for your kid. You want to give your kid a motor. Like, you want to give them desire, like to like not just be a lazy fuck.
Absolutely.
Whatever they like, whatever it is, if it's sports wise or
anything.
Anyway, you don't want them to just give up on life.
Yeah.
And we brought with food like but what Kevin has is the motor, but no direction.
No direct. He doesn't have wheels.
He's fucking like
burning out the back wheels. He has no front wheels.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
I don't know.
So that's a nightmare if that's your kid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's among many different nightmares that you can have.
For
It's
sure.
like, well, my kid doesn't have a motor at all. He just wants to live off welfare, find a fucking rich fucking partner and think that's going to make them set up or whatever. I can just make funny fucking podcasts and I'll be rich. You know what I mean? Like, I would never have done this as a lifestyle choice. You know what I mean? Like, but it's
quitting my job. I'm going to be a podcaster.
Like, oh my God, we got 10 followers on Twitter now. We're on our way. That's so like, idiotic to do, right?
Yeah.
And delusional.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and again, like, it's not like, but I'm so far from needing to have to be motivated that way. But in that situation, but not like keeping care of myself. One of the things is with the show's unintended reason to watch it, a show is, I think it's called like My 600-Pound Life or something like that.
Selena watches that.
And at first it fucking, I mean, it's better than like the 90 Day Fiancé type of shows, which I find have zero
value.
Yes. Right? Like, maybe entertainment value for some reason, like
entertainment
watching porn
value.
people that aren't me or whatever. But if I would have to take one of these 600-pound life shows and give it that kind of title, I short shifted it, because what I found, what it is when it works for these people, because most of these people are desperate as fuck.
Yeah.
When they're on the show, you look at them and you go, well, you did, obviously every single one of them, you did this to yourself. When I was saying like in the enabler part with like your friend's mom is enabling him for just living like rent free, is like, to each one of them, they have an enabler. The doctor says, well, who's giving you your fucking 18 Big Macs a day? Somebody, you can't get out of your fucking house.
Yeah.
So now you're killing this person by if I don't bring them their food, they're going to fucking whatever, like all this stuff. Like, that's not the only situation, but you look at this and go, oh, this idiot did this to themselves. And then when the people are trying to get out of it, like the only time it's successful is like they'll get mad at the doctor for just giving them the information that they they need.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I can't do this, and the doctor has no time for them.
Yeah,
it's just like if they come back and they haven't lost the weight, it's just like, well, you cheated on your diet, and they have all excuses, and then the doctor's like, well, do you want to live or not?
Exactly.
And so I don't even know how. I like the show in a way that when you see somebody actually trying, you want to try too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, like, I know we all have our struggles, but when you do want to try to lose weight, like, I guess it's more of a common problem. You cling to people that you feel sorry for them, like in that struggle, right? Like you hate it when nobody feels sorry for you for feeling too skinny.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is a real struggle. You know what I mean? Like it's not, and it's just like, come on, man, just have some drinks on Friday. You'll get fat.
No, right. Get blown away by every windstorm? No way.
No, but we feel that it's not as big of a deal.
Of course.
Right? And so there's no fucking 100-pound life. Like, there's hardly any shows of fucking people like trying to bulk up.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not our problem. Nobody cares about you people. And so that's why the value of watching these shows is, at first I get angry at these people who thinks it's other people's problems. Like, hey, stop bringing me my Big Macs.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst. They don't say that.
Just don't eat it.
Yes, but they're lost. They don't see it as we see them on the outside. And then when people start to see it and they start losing, and you see some fucking idiot lose 250 pounds or 300 pounds.
Nuts.
And it's like a whole different, but it's just like, wow. Like if they can do it, I can do it. If they don't eat the cheese or the fucking drink the beer, then like I'm so better off than this person. Like it's like a hoarder thing. Like, oh my God, they're, for the grace of fucking God, I see, like it wouldn't take long for me to be that 600-pound person. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be like, I don't want to be, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that to yourself, but it's like, oh, I'm more that than, the kid who's been working out since he's been 4.
And that's why it's like a slippery slope type of thing, because how long, like how do you, I think, I guess the biggest problem is nobody gets to stop themselves before they turn around, they look at their 600 pounds. Right? You've mentioned that. How much did you weigh before you said?
I was like about 310.
About 310. How long was it between 200 and 310 when you realized that, oh shit, I went too far?
Yeah. Probably at times throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
Like if I was, when it was constantly on my mind. So let's just say at 200 pounds, I 5% hated being that.
Yeah.
Right. And then as you just get to 10, you might get to about like a 240 before it even registers. It usually goes by buying clothes.
And it's quick, right?
It's so quick, Brian. Yeah. It's so happy. It's easy in hindsight to add all these other emotional reasons or these like personality traits, or that's the type of, like, this is why I do what I do. Because you just live life. Yeah. Like, and you see them with these 600-pound people. It's like, oh, not to add their family situation. Oh, I was 13 and my parents split up, and, all of a sudden I was just eating, and all of a sudden their parents talk up, yeah, we noticed, but like they were dealing with these other personal problems, so we didn't think it was such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Because you see a fat fucking 180 person, at 15 years old. And then these TV stories, by the time I was 20, I was like 250. And you as like a fucking skinny one night, it's like, oh my God, how could you not notice you're 250? But you just go buy another size pair of clothes, right? Like you go from a 38 to a 40. Yeah, that's no big deal. The 40s are just under the 38s. Yeah. For me, I was like going to the States so much. It's like, oh, I need a new pair of jeans. Oh, you know what? They sell 46s and 44s in the regular store in the States. So I can just go to Walmart. In Canada, and not like it's a difference. It's just like, oh, if I needed to buy those, I have to go to the Big and Tall store. Mm-hmm. And because there's more bigger people, they cater to a bigger size in the Americas. So I was going, and you justify it. You just self-hate yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long it takes for you to not want to drink as much, but like maybe at a point when you make a decision like this, like, God, I hate that I'm drinking this much. I'm depending on this alcohol. I'm going to stop. But you have, like, I don't know how many weeks you drank before you're like, how many do I need to do this? And so it's the same way with food, right? Like you are justifying it with the money and with all that, but with food, you have to eat anyway. Yeah. Oh, true. Right? Like it's not like I'm spending $100 on tequila bottles and which one I'm going to buy. It's like I'm at your best, you buy a chicken and cook it. Yeah. But at your worst, I go to McDonald's and buy a chicken or, whatever. Just so, okay, well, you know what? I like 2 Big Macs. I'm in a part now. I like little sausage sandwiches from fucking Tim Hortons. So I get 2 of those every Sunday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. Right. And at my best, I wouldn't eat, like I would look at the biscuit and go, God, those calories and fat are not worth it. But now they're just so yummy. Biscuits. So you get it, but then you watch these people, and when you're 600 pounds, you think it's just self-satisfying. It's just like what I would tell you to do is, hey, buy smaller shot glasses. No, Jay. So you're like a fucking 18 Big Mac eating person. Absolutely. Right? It's just like, you know what? Like at our house, we don't have, like, why I still have a tequila cart? It's because our shot glasses are smaller. Right? And so this is like, this is what I get. It sounds like anger or just justifying why I want you not drinking. Just like you can stretch out your justifications over more days.
Yeah, but then I have to get new shot glasses. So fuck that.
Well, maybe we'll get our merch. We'll get the work-related shot glasses. We'll get our work-related beer glasses.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, again, like others say, it's more of a slippery slope. Everything's a slippery slope if you don't like get onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And these 600-pound people, where I get to is like most of them, like just like the 90-day fiance people, I fucking hate all of them. There's a couple of them that bring some good value, like, and I don't hate all of them. That's not it, but most of them I fucking hate.
Yep.
Like, why are you getting a fiance from fucking Australia or like Africa that's 40 years younger than you, and you think they're not just trying to move to America and all like
Vietnam.
Like, yeah, like these people seem so delusional. Never mind the ones who never even meet the person that they're fucking seeing online. Right? Like, it's just like I go from not feeling sorry to these people because I'm not stuck in their loop. But when it comes to these fat fucks, I'm stuck in their loop. So
Jay, you're not 600
pounds.
No,
but just like I'm not a hoarder, but I have those tendencies. Like, it could. I recognize that.
Yeah.
Just like you're not an alcoholic, but you recognize that. Right? Like, how much money am I just wasting away? Or whatever health reasons, like.
Just to get hangovers.
I think you think you don't like being dependent on it or something. Like, there's part of that.
That's
like,
definitely part of it.
It's not, it's weak to be to look forward to something like that or not. That's not the right
look
word.
Forward, but to not be able to
feel you need it.
Yeah, to be like, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's like it's lunchtime. Lunch. It's the weekend. Alcohol, and it's like, well, no. Like, I only need to eat because I'll die. I don't need to drink because I'll die. Right?
I know, but then that's for again. The balance thing is to say, like, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
For sure.
And I just know how you like it, and I'm just teasing you. But
no, I know.
When it comes to the fruits, but when it comes to the show value, is that half of them feel that it's the doctor's responsibility to fucking help them lose weight.
That's very annoying. And that one doctor is just always like, he's like the
little guy.
Yeah,
he's the best.
He's just like, fuck
like,
that.
Yeah, he calls them out on it. Like, and I love that about it. I never thought I would get that much out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so I enjoy that and I see that. And not that the doctor's talking to me, but when the doctor's telling the 600-pound person, like, well, you couldn't have not cheated on your diet because you only lost a pound. Right. Like, you know what I mean? And the week before, we watched somebody be successful and we saw them go from 5 to 250, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so, so we know that, and that just watching it, like, that's why I don't like the person. And we know they're looking for a reason to not do it or blaming the doctor or just being weak. And so there's no value in that person for me in that, watching them type of way.
Yeah.
Or I find I'll hate them like the 90-day fiance people I'll not want to watch. But I was surprised that when it does work and when I see that, like, I see the value. Watching somebody better themselves can only help you better yourself.
For sure. For sure.
So I dig that. I don't know how we got there from fucking where we started.
Do I? But I mean, I think that was a pretty good topic we had.
Good stuff, my friend. Well, I am going to go home and drink my face off.
Are you?
Because it's Friday. You can enjoy tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll enjoy.
You got your alcohol lined up for tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got our edibles and everything. We're waiting, ready and waiting.
So will you just be like staring at them, or are they hidden? Are they hidden?
They're
out
hidden
of sight?
in our weed cupboard, our little weed cupboard.
Anything going for Easter for you?
Yeah, I haven't mentioned this to you all week. I completely forgot to mention this. On Sunday, we're going to the Globetrotters game.
What? Yeah. That is awesome.
So we're bringing all the kids to the Globetrotters. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah.
You and who else is going with you?
All the family.
Like Brenton and stuff, or just your family?
Just my family.
Nice. Where is it?
It's in Hamilton.
Holy shit, that'll be a blast.
Yeah.
The fucking Globetrotters. So how did you think of going to that?
It just popped up in like an ad or something. Oh. And like we were originally like for March break, we were going to go do this Disney thing in Toronto, and we didn't end up doing that. We ended up doing something else. And then Kai had also asked to go to a soccer game, and I was going to take him to a Toronto FC game and whatnot, but it's too cold to go to Toronto FC right now, right?
Sure.
So this Globetrotters thing popped up, and I was like, okay, so we'll just do that, and then I'll go to a FC game maybe later on the year or something. I don't know.
Oh my God. So I can't wait to hear about that. I bet you that's like the ultimate entertainment value.
Oh, pure entertainment.
How will that not be the best thing you've ever seen in your life?
It's gonna be crazy.
I'm a little jealous. Not that I would ever go on anywhere on a Sunday. I'll be watching the Masters, getting high as fuck and eating cheese.
Yeah.
Betting on golf. But I can't wait to hear how good that was.
Yeah.
That's a nice choice.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
By the time we're hearing this, you'll already hear about it.
It'll be, well, by the time I hear this, it'll be another Monday motivation.
Damn right.
I'm really, I think we'll leave the rest of that agenda. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to talk about.
As per usual, we leave many agendas.
Well, an hour and a half in, like not just because I have like an angry wife waiting home, how come it took you so fucking long to get home? But we got to give the people's ears a bit of a break.
We do. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Work Related Podcast.
We will see you on Twitter at Related by Work.
Yep.
I don't know if we have another update on Sire's soccer. We didn't even talk about how good did he do going a level up.
Really good. Pretty
Nice.
good. He's definitely one of the better kids. There was one kid who was probably at the top of the age range who was pretty good.
Nice.
But definitely the fastest. He needs to learn some team.
Well, he is only
teamwork.
4.
But he's the fastest for sure. And he's definitely determined. So I like that.
Well, that's all your hard work down in that basement. And maybe
Yeah.
one day it'll rub off on yourself.
Yeah.
And you can do some push-ups during the week and have a drink on Friday.
I did a push-up today. I was teasing the kids.
Getting out of bed doesn't fucking help. Okay, that doesn't count.
I fell over and yes.
I hope you fell over because
Exercise
your wife
for the
pushed you. but I'm out of here. I gotta go.